Good morning, folks. Happy Monday. It is Monday, July 17th. This is our second meeting for the KubeCon Contributor Summit for North America, which will be taking place in Chicago. My name is Nigel. I am the lead for this Contributor Summit, and I'm excited to be here with you all. Welcome you, hope maybe your first meeting of the week. So we'll keep this light and simple. This meeting is governed by the CNC Code of Conduct, CNCF Code of Conduct, Kubernetes Code of Conduct. Okay, yeah, you all, okay, yeah. Please be kind to each other. We're all volunteers here. And it's first thing on Monday morning. Yeah, let's get the week started off well. Please feel free to add your name under the attendees list so that we know that you are here. And we'll follow the agenda as we have it listed. So if you are a lead, please carry on and put your updates in, and we will get to you chronologically. So the first thing, lead updates. The main thing is that we had at least one more playbook show up, the ops playbook. If y'all haven't seen the PR open for that, please check it out. There is, if you have any comments that you'd like to make, I've just dropped the link in there for that, and I will add it to the notes. Or would anyone like to take notes for the meeting? No? All right, that's okay. Let's see. I will add them in right after this. Okay, collectively. Thank you, Kubernetes steering. So the first thing that we have up is Brienne, please. You have exciting news for us from the land of Chicago.
Yeah, so I spent all last week in Chicago checking out McCormick Place as well as the different venues around McCormick Place. I am excited to say we will be located in the Hyatt Regency McCormick Place. It is located next to and it is connected to the actual McCormick Place Conference Center via a bridge. So we don't even have to go outside, which is really nice. But I think it's a great setup for us. It's going to be very private. It'll only be Kubernetes Contributor Summit and a few other, small, tiny things going on over there. So I'm going to have a separate registration set up for KCS in McCormick Place, or at the Hyatt Regency McCormick Place. So I think it's going to work really well. I think the space is great and I'm really looking forward to it. I think we have lots of options. So I'm still working on getting the floor plans from them, and I am updating our planning doc based on that. So as soon as I have all of our space and our, basically how many each room can fit and the different layout options I'll put in there, I will share that via Slack. And then that's kind of going to be our working doc for all of our planning. So that should be coming your way probably sometime this week. I've also started working on the reg form and working with our reg team to make sure it has all of the appropriate questions. I know they've done a few changes even since Amsterdam. So just kind of making sure that I've got the right things on there. And once I do have that finished, or the draft finished this week, I'll share that via Slack. And then we can kind of come up with the timeline for reviewing and approving. Once that is approved, then we can actually get our registration live. So that'll be exciting. I've also started working with the Chicago CVB on looking for some different celebration venues. The one downside to McCormick Place is there's not a ton of fun options right within walking distance. So that's kind of why I'm working with the CVB, because they know better than I do. They are local and they can kind of help direct me and, offer some different solutions and suggestions. So I've been in contact with them, and we did check out a few places while I was there last week. So I think we'll be able to come up with some good options, and I'll have those all put together as a proposal, and we can look through and hopefully select something that'll work really well for everybody. So yeah, planning is rolling along. It's in the works. I feel like we're really ahead of the game this time, so I'm really excited about that. So yeah, I feel really good.
Awesome. Bob, I see your hands up.
Yep. So most of the stuff in Chicago that's like actually interesting and like where all the good food and all that is in a little area that is north of McCormick Place called the Loop. It's just essentially a big, yeah.
Yeah, we did dinner there. It was nice. It was only about a 20-minute walk. So we did dinner there 2 different times. So that's actually kind of the location we're looking for. I tried to tell them to keep it within about a 25-minute walk. If we need to, it's early November, so the weather should be okay still. But
this year's been weird for weather.
Yes. So while we were there were tornadoes. I was on the 29th floor of the hotel. They had a big alarm go off. They're like, everybody, please go downstairs. We have a safe shelter room. So it was very interesting. I'm from Ohio, so I'm kind of used to it, but it was also interesting.
Something else. I shared a bunch of locations and venues and things like that with Katie for other reasons.
Okay.
But that might also be another potential list of things.
Awesome. Yeah, I'll ask her to share that, send it my way, and then take a look at that. That would be great. It gives me a good starting point. So perfect. Any other questions? Anybody need anything from me this week or have questions? No. All right.
Let me check the doc from last week as well. There was something the bottom, you probably covered it. Do we have a location confirmed? Yes. Okay, yeah. We have answered all of the questions.
Perfect. Yeah. So I'm working through kind of all of the finer details this week, and just playing catch up. Even though we were, technically working last week, site visits take up a lot more time than you'd think. So still playing catch up. But yeah, if anybody needs anything, just track me down.
Natalie, your hands up.
Yeah, I just want to introduce myself to Brianne. Hi, I'm the Day of Ops lead. So you and I will be chatting and hanging out a little bit when we get on site.
Nice to meet you.
Awesome. Okay, next in the agenda, we have content. Kaylin, you are here. Hi.
Hey, what's up? Nothing too much on my end. I confirmed the shadows that have applied so far in the issue. The one person who's not an org member, I recommended to attend these meetings and maybe see about volunteering, but we'll stick to org members for shadows. And then I'm just going to create a group DM for the shadows that have been confirmed and just wait until we have more details to do the unconference and CFP, probably until registration at least, and when we know what the specs for the venue are. So mostly just waiting, wishing.
Yeah, that makes sense. And that's something that I didn't say earlier. For the folks who are leads, thank you for confirming them in the issues. Please communicate with your shadows and volunteers if you're going to have a meeting cadence, if you have any tasks for them to do. Essentially, you should be their point of contact when they have questions about what happens next. And also, I was thinking that maybe we would send an email to the ContribEx list to community to say, hey, we're doing Contributor Summit. Maybe you've been before, but if you're an org member and you're going to be on site, there are opportunities to get involved. Do we have any thoughts or feelings about that? Would that go through marketing? Like, how do we handle that sort of thing? Oh, I didn't hear you, Bob.
Sorry, physical mute button. And you can just send it.
Okay, cool. Just send it. Yeah, how I live my life. All right. So who do we have up next? Comms, Avanesh.
Hey, so I did confirm my shadows, and there is going to be one volunteer as well. And also I'm in conversation with Chris regarding the README changes, because he was last time the lead. So I'm in communication with him. And I do have assigned myself a task, and I've not mentioned it over here, but I'm keeping this as a point that I'll make sure that when I towards the end of this session, I'll write down all those things that I feel should be there in comms after my experience. So that is an action item for me. And also I'm on alert for now. So anybody who wants some help from comms, do ping me up, because this is me first time doing this thing. So might not be aware about all those things. So do hit me up on Slack or wherever you want. Thank you.
Sounds good. Thanks so much. Celebration, Nitish. I see you came off mute, but I can't hear you.
Am I audible?
Yes. Yeah.
All right, thank you. So regarding the celebration, I discussed with Josh regarding the social event, and we decided to have a co-lead as well alongside for the social event, because we don't want that we should have any chances for we should have any chances that no lead should be present in person for the social event. So we decided for a co-lead as well, looking at the previous shadows for the social event last time, and CC was one of them. Regarding the shadows and the volunteers, we're still looking for them. But the thing is that I have got reached out by a couple of folks regarding who would like to volunteer for the celebrations as well. But the only concern is that they're not the organization, they're not the org members. So that might cause a little problem, but I think we are set to go for the next time.
Yeah, that sounds good. And yeah, I know that there's been some guidance in the issue for folks yeah, to be coming to these meetings and to be involved, and we'll see, you know, if we can find like roles and opportunities for these folks who haven't yet earned the org membership. And if you are one of those folks, please feel free to get involved with Kubernetes, with the organization, with some SIGs, and like work towards becoming an organization member, because this is like, this event is essentially a celebration of those folks. And yeah, we love for you to be involved in the org and yeah, earning membership and being more involved with the things that we're doing. I'll pass it on to Ops, Natalie.
Yep. Hi, everyone. Basically, we have our shadows full for now. We've got 3 shadow folks, so we're really only looking for volunteers on the ops side now. Difference being, shadows are expected to eventually take over the lead role at some point and step into the next 1 or 2 follow-on contrib summits. But yeah, we're really looking for volunteers now. Shadows will need to be doing volunteer work on the day anyhow. But yeah, more volunteers would be great, depending on more of the venue specs and size of rooms and so on, which we'll get a lot more info in the coming weeks. We'll know how many folks will need more kind of definitively, but anyone who is wondering how they can help out, if you're talking to folks in your circle, volunteers on the day would be really, really awesome. And then you already gave the update with the ops handbook. I've also linked it under my updates. Feedback is welcome from anywhere, not just myself or Joshua are assigned. And I can see a couple of folks already have given it, which is great.
Wonderful. And then for Reg, I assume you and Brienne will be working together to get the site up and all that stuff.
Yes, me, Brienne, and Sean and Ray, we have quite a few folks.
Sounds like you got a great group there. All right. Any other updates? Oh, all right. Bob says we need to, excuse me, open the PR to the site to stub out the site.
Basically, we just need to, like, if we're the reg form and all this stuff, we just need to create the skeleton of the files in the contributor site with the various links.
Is that an action item that we need to put a date on for next week? Is that like a more urgent thing?
It just has to be done before reg goes live.
Got it. Okay. Great. So that's on your radar now, Mars. And then we don't have Laura for the SIG meet and greet. And we don't have Joseph for the awards. All right. So to our open items, our open call, does anyone have anything they'd like to bring up, share?
We should do baseball theme for staff swag.
Baseball thing. Okay. For which team?
I guess the Cubs.
Ooh.
I sports. I didn't just Google Chicago baseball team.
So there's more than one.
More than one in one city? Yeah, okay, I don't sports. You've got me. The easiest one to make look like an anchor.
Yeah. So one thing that I had a couple of thoughts. I hadn't considered the sports angle, but you do have the Chicago White Sox as well. For baseball. I like the food in Chicago. So like Chicago dogs, deep dish pizza. So I was thinking something functional might be nice, like a little apron that we could have and take home and cook with. And then maybe it could be like a nice prize for the Crafter Netties folks when we do the bake off, if we do that again. Okay, looks like a lot of people are into aprons. All right. Yes, the staff swag is paid for by Google for North America. NOAA paid out of pocket for EU this year. So yeah, figuring out budget and stuff, that was the main thing that I was wondering, is where does that money come from? And so yeah, where does that money go? Do we solicit companies for?
No, it was basically like when Paris is the lead, she paid for it out of her OSPO budget. I paid for it last year out of my OSPO budget. Noah, I believe he paid out of pocket for those ones.
Yeah. Okay.
So there isn't really a budget for explicit staff swag.
Understood. So I suppose I, as lead, will go and talk to my OSPO.
It's something that should at least be discussed.
Yeah. Let me see.
Not necessarily with like your OSPO, but like honestly, probably talk to that Brienne, and probably a whole other conversation offline.
Okay. Yeah. We'll have that conversation offline. I'm trying to think if I've done enough good things in recent memory for my manager, so when I go ask for money, that it'll go over well. But yeah. All right. Figure out budget. Got it.
It might be worth, like, since so many people are into the apron idea, actually like sourcing, like having a look at what the possible cost could be and going with a number.
Yeah, that sounds good. Around how many staff folks did we have last time? Do we have a sense of how many hats we gave out, or anything like that? I'll ask Noah for EU information, but yeah, I don't know if we kept like a running total, or Reg. Yeah, we can look at Reg and see how many staff we had registered for the past few contributor summits, and then go from there for a rough estimate. And aprons are, yeah, like the hats, like one size fits all, so that's good. So the shirts though, like we had like the Van Gogh hoodies from EU, where does that money come from?
So that is what the CNCF does cover that. Brienne.
Yeah, I was gonna say I've got that within the event budget. I want to say I've got $8,000 set aside. I'll have to double check, but I think it's 8,000. I know when we did the zip up hoodies for Detroit, we had to go up to 10,000 because they were a bit more expensive. I will verify the number, but I'm pretty sure it's 8,000 that I've got set aside. Also, I do have 3,000 in the budget for scholarship money. So if we have attendees that need assistance with travel or lodging or anything like that, we do have $3,000 set aside for that. So with that money, I was actually able to reimburse Noah for the out-of-pocket cost for the staff swag. So that way he didn't end up covering it himself. So we can also kind of use that if needed. Keep that in mind. Also, we should encourage attendees. CNCF does have a very large scholarship travel fund program also, since they have to attend KubeCon in order to attend KCS. it would really be in their best interest to apply for the scholarship and travel fund money through CNCF. So if we can kind of, encourage attendees to do that, that's probably the best route. And then that also gives us an additional $3,000 that we can kind of play with as our budget. So.
All right. Sounds good. That sounds great. Okay. And then if we were doing, so we'll first encourage folks to apply through CNCF for scholarship travel stuff through, but if we have people that are perhaps like denied that, or like, how do we meet out the scholarship money there? Is it like people apply and it's like a needs-based kind of thing, or we like, you can get like 250, $500, whatever. It's like,
yeah. So what we did for EU, we only had, I think, 2 or 3 people that reached out. And so Noah actually had kind of just let me know, like, we have this person, can we give them 500? We have this person, can we give them 1,000? And then with the additional money that we had, I was able to reimburse Noah for his out-of-pocket costs. So they came through the inbox. So whoever's kind of fielding the inbox, I guess, is the person that'll just kind of let me know.
sounds good. Speaking of inboxes, we were talking about switching it to a unified inbox that I don't remember the details of that. Summit staff, yes. Okay.
We just have to open a PR to add people to it.
Okay, cool. So I will have an action item to add myself, I suppose. And then is that something that like all the leads go on, or like all the section leads go on, or is it like how, or comms, or?
So previously it was just the leads for like the entire summit leads.
Okay.
Plus a few other individuals, but this is for community at Kubernetes.io, which is the fire hose for everything. I think for this one, like we can add all the leads,
Okay.
plus everyone in Reg, because they're like Reg will be the ones potentially, fielding more responses.
Awesome. Great. Well, yeah, I will add that as an action item. That I need to start working on that PR. Oh, Chasm put that in. Thank you so much. Great. Anything else? All right. Seems like hearts and minds are clear. Please have a look again if you haven't and even if you have, at your playbooks, because there are timelines and you will get some ideas, leads for the things that you can be working on now and assigning to and working with your shadows and volunteers for. And yeah, we'll be back here next week with hopefully some awesome updates. Thanks so much for being here. Happy Monday. Hope you have a great week, and see you next week. Bye, y'all.
Later.